And now we begin. Here you are, here and now, arriving into this moment, into this body, into this presence. Perhaps you are seated, perhaps you are lying down. Perhaps you are not even sure what you're doing, and that is fine too. There is no right way, no wrong way, only this, that you are here. And as you come here, notice how the breath is already moving. You don't have to make it move. You don't have to push or pull or do anything at all. Breath moves itself. Breath is already the first lesson of release. In and out, in and out. And even if the breath feels uncomfortable, shallow, even if it feels tight, even if it feels as though something is pressing or holding or blocking, that too is already movement. Air is entering and air is leaving. And as you notice, perhaps you begin to sense something else. That your whole body can become a vessel. Imagine now, if you will, a bamboo flute. Imagine the hollow tube grown tall, cut, shaped, smoothed and opened. Imagine its hollowness. The bamboo is not strong because it is full. Bamboo is strong because it is empty. And in the same way, imagine your body as that hollow flute. Imagine that every part of you, the chest, the belly, the throat, even the mind itself, is not filled with resistance or sensation, not filled with struggle, but is open, hollow, ready to allow what comes and ready to allow what goes. And as you imagine this flute, perhaps you notice that your breath is the air moving through, the air pressing at the entrance. And the air wants to pass through. The air wants to become sound. What you have called anxiety is nothing more than this pressing air. It is not danger. It is not malfunction. It is only energy waiting for release. And you are the flute. So now, as you breathe, you might imagine yourself becoming more and more hollow. You might imagine your chest as a hollow chamber, your belly as a hollow vessel, your throat as a hollow pipe. And in this hollowness, there is strength. In this hollowness, there is space. And notice what it feels like to become this vessel. Notice how the body shifts when you do not try to hold, when you do not try to push, but simply allow. And perhaps already you can begin to sense something that your body even now is pressing to release. The flutter in the stomach, the racing of the heart, the tightness in the chest. All of these are simply the first stirrings of the note. The flute does not have to create sound. The flute does not strain. The flute does not resist. the flute simply allows the air to push through it, to pass, and so too you are learning now to allow this. Notice how the mind may resist. Notice how the thoughts may say, "This is too much, this is not safe, this is wrong." Notice how the ego, which is only the frightened child, clings to the opening of the flute, trying to prevent the air, believing it is dangerous. And let us say to that child, "Thank you. Thank you for trying to protect me. But now I am here. Now I am the self, and I give permission for this air to pass." And already as you do this, the air begins to move. Already the body begins to soften. Already you are more hollow, more open, more vessel. And perhaps you notice as you listen to these words that something in you is beginning to respond, not because you are doing anything, not because you are forcing anything, but simply because your body knows, your nervous system knows that it is now safe to allow, safe to become hollow, safe to release. And so we rest here in the beginning, here in the hollow vessel, here in the body that is not resisting but simply allowing. And imagine now the sound of the flute. Imagine a single note, long, clear, pure. That note is already in you. That note has been waiting for years, perhaps for your whole life, to be played. And as you breathe, you are preparing the channel. You are opening the vessel. You are softening the grip. You are standing aside so that the music of your own being can play itself. Perhaps you notice trembling, perhaps warmth, perhaps you notice nothing at all. It does not matter. Every sensation is simply part of the process. Every moment is part of the hollowing. And the more hollow you allow yourself to become, the more ready you are. The more empty, the more full. The more vessel, the more music. This is where we begin. We begin in emptiness. We begin in hollow space. We begin in the flute, just waiting for the air to move, to allow it. And even now, as you hear these words, as you breathe this breath, as you imagine this vessel, the release has already begun. And now that you have begun to sense the hollow, begun to sense yourself as the vessel, perhaps you also notice what still stands at the entrance. For as much as the air longs to move, as much as the body longs to release, there has always been a guardian at the gate. The guardian is not cruel. It is not your enemy. The guardian is not malfunction. The guardian is your younger self. Imagine them now. Perhaps you can see them clearly as a child, small with wide eyes. Perhaps you see yourself as you once were, the age you were when you first learned that it was not safe to feel. Or perhaps it is only a vague sense, a shape at the edge of awareness, on the edge of perception. Presence at the doorway of your flute. This one is anxious, this one tense. This one is holding the gate shut with small hands, straining and trembling. This one has worked for so many years to protect you. You can feel the tension in them. You can feel the urgency and the resistance. Don't let it through, they whisper. It will destroy us. It will hurt us. It will be too much. And now you can bow to this one. You can honor them because once they were right. Once it was too much. Once the pain, the grief, the fear would have overwhelmed you. Once it was not safe. And so this younger self stepped in, brave and small, holding the floodgates. Imagine speaking to them now. Kneel beside them. Place your hand on their shoulder and say, "Thank you. Thank you for all the years you held the gate. Thank you for all the ways you tried to keep me safe. You were right. It was not safe then when we were small. You did everything you could. You saved me." And perhaps you notice how this one responds. Perhaps they begin to soften, they begin to shake their head. Perhaps they cling even tighter. Reassure them. Tell them that now things are different. You are no longer that child. You are the adult. You are the self. You have strength, presence, space. And you will not abandon this younger part again. You won't let it face this alone. They don't have to hold the gate anymore. They can rest. And you can be there for them. You can let the air pass through. And they can trust you now. And perhaps you notice as you say these words, the child begin to relax, to breathe. The shoulders begin to release and the hands unclench little by little. The fear beginning to ease. Perhaps not all at once. Perhaps not fully, and that too is fine. The younger self has waited so long, and trust takes time. So remind them gently. You don't have to do all this at once. You don't have to vanish. You can stay by my side, but you no longer need to hold the gate. You can stand with me while I allow what wants to pass. You can watch me. You can learn that it is now safe to feel. And notice how it feels in your body as this younger self loosens. Notice how the gate feels when it is no longer barred. And notice how the air already begins to stir more freely, pressing to move, pressing to sing. You are the flute, and this younger self has been holding one of the holes closed. Now it is opening. Now the note is freer, the sound is nearer. And in this moment you can feel both things at once. The tenderness of this child and the strength of the self. Both are here and both belong. You can imagine now taking this child into your arms, holding them close to your heart, and whisper, "You did well. You are safe now. You will never be alone again." And the more you hold them, the more their trembling becomes stillness, the more their fear becomes trust, the more their protection becomes rest. And as they rest, the channel opens. As they rest, the flute is more hollow. As they rest, the air can move. And perhaps you even notice that this younger self was never the enemy. Anxiety was never the enemy. Anxiety was always the attempt to protect, the attempt to save, the attempt to hold back what felt annihilating. And now together, you and this younger self, standing as one, can allow. Imagine the flute again. Imagine the air pressing through, and imagine the sound forming. Imagine the first note beginning to play. It is not dangerous. It is not destructive. It is music. And all that anxiety ever was this, the child covering the flute, afraid of the note. And all that healing ever is this, the self stepping in, saying, "I am here now. Let the music play." So notice again your body. Notice the sensations. Notice the trembling or the warmth or the tightness or the opening. Notice whatever is present and say again to yourself, to the younger self, to the whole of you, "It is safe now. I am here." You no longer need to resist. You can let the energy move. We can allow together. And already in this, the great release has begun. Now that the vessel has opened, now that the younger self has stepped aside, you may begin to feel what has been waiting. Perhaps it rises gently like a wave swelling at the sea. Perhaps it rushes quickly like air bursting through a door long shut. Perhaps it is subtle, perhaps it is strong. What matters is not how it comes. What matters is that eventually it does. Because this very sensation, this trembling, this heat, this ache, this pulse, is what the body has held. This is the backlog. This is the charge. This is the nervous system saying, now it is time. Now I am allowed to release. For years it has been pressed down. For years it has been resisted. For years the ego child has stood guard at the gate, not out of malice, but out of fear. And now at last the gate is open. So imagine now a sky heavy with storm clouds, dark, swollen, trembling with lightning. For days, for weeks, for years, these clouds have gathered, holding their rain, the air thick, heavy, aching with what has not yet fallen. And then the first crack of thunder, the first flash of lightning, the first raindrop falling to earth. This is the gathering of energy, of emotion. This is the moment before release. This is the body trembling, anticipating, saying, "It is coming." And perhaps you feel it now. Perhaps your chest tightens, perhaps your stomach churns, perhaps your throat constricts, perhaps thoughts whirl faster, anxious, urgent. This is not danger. This is not malfunction. This is the storm preparing to rain. Anxiety is nothing more than this gathering. Fear is nothing more than this pressure. It is the nervous system coiling, ready to uncoil. It is the bow drawn back, ready to let the arrow fly. And as you feel it, remind yourself, it is only energy. It is only life. It is only what was once frozen, now thawing. It is only what was once buried, now rising. It is only what once was unsafe, that is now safe. And so you breathe. And as you breathe, you allow the gathering. You allow the storm to swell, the air to press in the flute. Imagine the flute now filled with air. The musician has taken a deep breath. The lungs are full. The pressure is there, waiting at the lips, waiting at the opening. The note is not yet played, but it is imminent. And this pressure, this fullness, this trembling, it is not wrong. It is necessary. Without pressure, there is no sound. Without clouds, there is no rain. Without the bow drawn back, there is no arrow flying. And so you allow the fullness, you allow the tension, you allow the charge. Perhaps it frightens you. Perhaps part of you says, this is still too much. I cannot bear it. And you must remind yourself, this is not too much. This is not danger. This is simply energy waiting to move. And notice how the body feels as you allow this gathering. Notice the sensations, the tingling, the heat, the vibration. Notice the mind, perhaps racing, perhaps resisting, spiraling. Notice it all. And instead of fighting, instead of resisting, instead of calling it wrong, instead of trying to understand it, simply say, yes, 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 you may come. Yes, you may gather. Yes, you may rise. Because the truth is, the more it gathers, the more it will release. The greater pressure, the greater, the clearer the note, and the heavier the clouds, the sweeter the rain. And so you trust the process, you trust the gathering, you trust the nervous system knows what it is doing, and you allow it. This is not a mistake. This is intelligence. This is nature's design. The body's design to hold until it is safe to release. The psyche is designed to protect until the self is present. And now you are present, now you are safe, and now you can allow. So feel the energy pressing, feel the air in the flute, feel the clouds in the sky, feel the bow drawn back, and remind yourself again and again, this is life. This is life force, this is energy, emotion, this is me coming home. Let yourself become curious. What does it feel like, this gathering? Does it buzz like electricity in the skin, the muscles? Does it tremble like a leaf in the wind? Does it throb like a drumbeat in the chest? Notice it all without judgment and with allowance. Because in noticing you are already allowing, and in allowing you are already releasing. And so we stay here with the gathering, not rushing, not pushing, simply standing aside as the vessel, as the hollow flute, as the opening sky while the energy gathers itself. And know this, the greater storm, the greater the clearing, and the greater the tension, the greater the release. The greater the note pressed within, the more beautiful the song when it is finally played. And you are ready. You are ready to let it move. You are ready for the great release. The pressure has gathered. The storm clouds are swollen and full, and the air is pressed full in the flute. The bow is drawn back to its furthest point. This is the movement. This is the threshold. This is the beginning of release. And perhaps already you're beginning to notice your body trembling or buzzing. Perhaps heat rises or cold shivers. Perhaps the chest feels tight or the stomach churns. Perhaps tears come or breath quickens. Perhaps thoughts spin saying, this is too much, I cannot do this. And here is the truth. This is not too much. This is exactly enough. This is exactly what your body knows how to do. Allow it. For all that anxiety ever was energy pressing to move, and a younger self resisting it. And now the self is here. The gate is open. And the body may do what it has always wanted to do. So let it come. Let it move, let it surge. Perhaps you feel waves of trembling, let them come. Perhaps you feel shaking in the arms, the legs, the jaw, let them shake. Perhaps the breath grows ragged, fast, uneven, let it be so. Allow it. Perhaps the heart pounds hard and strong, let it beat. Perhaps there is nausea, heaviness, dizziness, let it pass through. All these sensations are safe. All these sensations are nothing more than energy leaving the system, moving, metabolizing. All of these sensations are the great release. Imagine again the flute. Imagine the air pressed full, and now at last moving through. Imagine the note being played, clear and strong and resonant. You are that flute. This trembling is your music. This shaking is your song. This energy is the life force, finally flowing once more. It may come in bursts, it may come in surges, it may come in waves that rise high, then fall, then rise again. Allow each wave, allow each surge, allow each trembling note to play. And if the mind resists, if thoughts cry out, stop, stop, this is not safe, I can't bear it, you can place a hand on your own heart and whisper back, yes, it is safe, it's only energy, it's only release. I am here, I am with you. We can allow, we want this. And feel now the backlog clearing, feel the charge unwinding, feel now the body emptying what has been stored for so long. This is fear leaving, this is grief leaving. Allow it all. This is anger leaving, sorrow leaving, longing leaving, not leaving you in truth, but moving through you, completing itself, transforming, not leaving you as though lost, but leaving you as though finished, fulfilled. Like the storm pouring rain until the clouds are clear, like the bow letting the arrow fly swift and free, like the air moving through the flute, sound ringing into the open air. This is completion, not destruction, not malfunction, but design. This is not danger, this is life. And as you allow, notice what happens. Notice how the body, though it trembles, does not break. Notice how the heart, though it beats fast, does not stop. And how the tears, if they fall, don't drown you. Notice how every wave rises, peaks and falls. This is the rhythm of release. This is the nervous system doing exactly what it knows how to do. And this is you, standing aside, becoming the vessel, allowing what always wanted to happen. And if fear still comes, let fear come too. If resistance still rises, allow that to rise too. Even fear, even resistance, even doubt, these too are just energy. These too can move. Allow them all. Because the great release is not about controlling which energy moves. The great release is not about deciding which note will play. The great release is simply about standing aside, becoming hollow, empty, and letting all that comes, comes. Allowing it to move through. And so you breathe, and as you breathe, waves pass. And as you breathe, trembling moves. And as you breathe, the music plays. Let the body tremble as much as it needs. Let the voice cry out. If it wishes, let the heart beat, the sweat rise, the energy pour. It is only energy. It is only life. It's only you being brought up to date. And the more you allow, the more it moves. The more you soften, the more it clears. The more you hollow, the more it flows. Until one day, soon, at last, the storm passes. Until at last the bow is empty and the flute has played its note long and full, ringing out into the silence. And in that silence notice what remains after the trembling. Stillness. After the tears. Quiet. And after the pounding sensations, peace. This is the other side. This is the calm after the storm. This is the clear sky after the rain. The silence after sound. You did not force it. You did not push it. You did not make this happen. You allowed it to happen. You only stood aside. You only became the vessel, the space within which it moved. And the body, the self, life itself did the rest. And this is the great release. And now as the storm subsides, as the trembling erases, as the note rings out into the air, notice how the energy has changed. What was once fear has become movement. What was once pressure has become song. And what was once anxiety has just become flow. This is the alchemy, the mystery, the transmutation of life itself. For energy never dies, it is never destroyed, it only changes its form. And so the energy that once sat heavy in your chest, pressing as panic, now rises as release, as music, as freedom. And the energy that once clenched your stomach now pours out as warmth. The energy that once raced your thoughts now spreads as stillness. It has not vanished. It has not been cut out, crushed, removed or defeated. It has been liberated. It has become what it was always meant to be. Life in motion. Imagine again the flute. Imagine the note played. That note was once only air, trapped, pressing, silent. And now it is sound, ringing out, beautiful, unrepeatable. That is you. You are the flute. You are the music. And you are the one who allowed the energy to become its song. And notice how the note once played is no longer pressure. It is freedom. Just as the rain, now once released, is no longer a cloud. It is nourishment. Notice how the arrow once loosed is no longer tension. It is flight. This is transmutation. This is the miracle of release. And it is not only in this moment, not only in this surge, this one moment, this one trembling. It is every wave, every flare, every time you allow, every pulse of energy, every moment of anxiety to move. It is simply the next note waiting to be played. And the more you allow, the more you discover this, that every note is beautiful, even the harsh ones, even the ragged notes, even those that tremble. They are all part of your song. Because what makes music is not perfection. What makes music is sound allowed to flow. And what makes release is not controlling the wave. What makes it release is allowing it to rise, fall, and move through. And so your body, once so heavy with backlog, is now a little lighter. Your nervous system, once tangled with resistance, is now a little clearer. Your whole being, once caught in the past, is now more present. And this is transmutation. This is the updating of your system. This is your body, your mind, yourself coming back into flow. Perhaps you even notice that the energy once so frightening is actually not frightening at all. It's power, strength, vitality. Fear is only the mind's name for energy it does not yet understand. And anxiety is only the child's attempt to stop the song. But once allowed, once released, once transmuted, that energy is joy. That energy is freedom. That energy is life. And so you can now say to yourself, even now, I want it back. I want my energy back. I want my life force back. Because that is all the great release is. The return of what was always yours. The returning of energy that was locked away. The returning of your wholeness. And in allowing this return, there is no loss. In this return, there is no danger. There is only wholeness. Imagine the music again. Imagine a symphony, every note, every sound, flowing, transmuted, transformed. This is your life. This is your nervous system becoming not a prison, but a song. And imagine the river, once dammed, now flowing. Water that once stagnated is now rushing, sparkling, and clean. That is your body, that is your soul, that is yourself. And this is what anxiety was always for. This is what symptoms were always for. They were never mistakes, they were never punishments. They were the signal. There is energy to be released, music to be played, and life to be lived. And you are the only one who can allow this, the only one who can stand aside. To remember that you are the vessel, you are the flute, you are the emptiness, the hollow through which life sings. And so rest now in this knowledge. You rest now in this freedom. You rest now knowing that every way that comes as only the next note, the next release, the next transmutation. This is not the end. This is not the last note. not the last rain or the last arrow. It is one of many, and every one will free you more. And as you trust this, you discover something deeper. You are not only the flute. You are also the musician. You are not only the river, you are also the sea. Not only the vessel, but also the field. And the self is both the hollow and the space around it. The self is both the trembling and the stillness that holds it. The self is both the release and the silence after. And in knowing this, you are free.